can we put heartfelt in there so it's short?
The shark treaty ocean. Gross. So selfishly, I have this thing, but I don't want to steamroll over anything that you have in your last 35 minutes.
I want to do that thing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
The only thing I want to do is remind people that they can get in their $9.99 donations for a lot where Jacob Burgess will spend time with you and help you by using his talents as a voice actor or storyteller or writer. And also Mikey's going to help too. So you've got 18 minutes to get those in. So $9.99. I want to see that number go burr.
Yeah, we're so
All
close
of those numbers.
to 8,950,000 lifetime.
Very close.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Graham.
Okay, cool. Sorry, it's not my shift. I was waiting for the go-ahead. All right, so over the course of the week thus far, various manner of Canadiana has been inflicted upon primarily yourselves.
Yeah.
And I thought, yes, more of that. So what I have is I've prepared a this or that for your enjoyment. Please don't show anything on the thing yet. What I have prepared is a small this or that. It's only 6 questions because it was difficult to write, and it's the this or that is Canadian children's programming from the late 80s or early 90s, or something Graham made up. So basically, it's just, was this real or not?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 things. I'm going to describe.
Tell me which one's
I'm
real.
going to describe 2 television shows. One of them's real, one of them isn't.
Okay.
So obviously, you 2 can participate. Colin, you could participate if you like. Joe and Map also did not grow up in Canada, so they're welcome to participate. We've hidden chat. Now, one tricky thing: some of these shows did later air on U.S. networks. I think enough years out of sync with their original airing in Canada that it sort of pushes everyone out of the age bracket, but I don't know. So all I ask is that if you recognize one of these and you instantly know it, hold on to that so that other people can guess, because it's more fun that way.
So this is a game for the non-Canadians.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. The rest, all the Canadians gotta be quiet.
If you're
back and
American,
drink a beer.
if
The
you're
whole thing's messed
American and
up.
German, you can play this game.
Now, I want to be clear.
Yeah.
I am Canadian now. I'm just not great at it.
You just
yet.
didn't. You weren't a child here in
No,
the
I
late
was not.
80s or early 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, neither was I, technically.
That's true. I think
I'm gonna sit
you
this
were
one
still
out.
you were still of an age where you might have seen these, so or at least been aware of them.
I love the phrase "of an age."
All right, so we're going to start off with these 2 shows. They're both very real, you understand, but one of them isn't. You tell me which one. Sesame Street, Canada. While using many of the same skits and segments as Sesame Street in the US, additional scenes were added with new Canadian Muppets like Basil the Polar Bear, Louie the Francophone Otter, and Dodie the Bush Pilot. Or Fraggle Rock, Canada. Similarly, the bulk of the show is the same, with the wraparound segments featuring Doc the Inventor and his dog Sprocket replaced with new characters, the bilingual Gramps, who operated a general dry goods store in Manitoba, with his dog Rocket, a Maurice Richard reference, who used the same dog puppet.
So we need to tell you which one we think is real.
Yeah, one of those is real.
This is difficult.
Good.
I've locked in my answer.
All right, what do you think?
I think Sesame Street is the real one.
All
And
right.
I think Fraggle Rock Canada is smelly manure from Graham's brain to yours.
Fair enough, Joe.
I feel like Sesame Street had the bigger reach and budget to have a Canadian offshoot.
I think it's Fraggle Rock because it was cheaper and there weren't as many changes needed to be made. Also, very difficult to make anywhere in Canada jive with the very New York Alphabet City central thing that Sesame Street was has been and is. Difficult to make New York Canada.
I'm going for Sesame Street because in Germany we had actually the same stuff, just differently. We had Tiffy, the pink bird, and Samson, the bear.
Oh.
So
Cool.
So there's
That's
German Sesame
right.
Street?
Yeah, there is German
Yeah,
Sesame Street.
there's all
yes.
kinds of country Sesame Street.
So,
Oh, Colin.
I was gonna say kind of what's similar to what Map said, because knowing that there are other countries that have
all the regional big birds.
yeah all the regional
right.
big birds and everything, there has to be a Canadian one.
So here's the thing. All those regional big birds, right? Amusingly, in Canada, we still got all of that. The New York Street, everything, Sesame Street in New York, Big Bird, Snuffleupagus, all of that. Fun fact about Fraggle Rock, they localized it around the world in exactly the way I described. In England, it was a lighthouse keeper.
Oh, wow.
In France, it was a bakery. They kept all the underground segments, but replaced the wraparound characters with totally different people.
Huh.
But not in Canada. In Canada, we got Fraggle Rock as it is, but we did get Sesame Street Canada.
Hey.
I've sent Map, who is not looking ahead, the opening titles.
It's
Canadian Sesame Street.
It's like the other one, but Canadian.
When it started as Sesame Street Canada and then changed to Canadian Sesame Street. But yeah, that's Dodie and Basil.
Huh.
Dodie was a bush pilot, but we had the same big bird. There they are. There's the Canadian Muppets. Later they added Katie, a girl in a wheelchair, and then later they changed the whole show to a different thing called Sesame Park.
Huh.
But for a while, it was just Canadian Sesame Street, all the same animated bits, all the same things with like Kermit the Frog and Muppet News, but just added unrelated bits. All right, that's the end of the intro. Added unrelated bits with those Canadian Muppets.
God, Canadian Sesame Street sounds like a fugue dream.
Yeah,
Like
Louis the Francophone Otter.
Louis the Francophone Otter, I'm pretty sure, taught me French in grade 4.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like my grade 4 teacher looked like Louis.
I remember even as a child finding the transition between like the very American Sesame Street stuff and the very Canadian added bits jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, the CBC would air both of them back to back, and my parents said I could only watch Sesame Street if I watched Canadian Sesame Street first, because I had to get all the Canadian content in there.
I know you're like, oh no, don't make me watch twice as much TV.
Yeah, I was like, great, I'll watch lots of Sesame Street. All right. So, quiet again from the Canadians. Next, The Smiling Carousel. Children's entertainer couple Maggie and Stuart star in a televised version of their touring stage production, educating and moralizing to viewers through skits and songs. The supporting cast includes Grammar Man, puppet musicians the Great Plains Jug Band, Morris the Moose, and a talking viewer mailbox named Ernest. Or Camp Caribou, a tightly themed but broadly unfocused show about a fictional summer camp. It featured camp counselors Tom and Mark welcoming the viewers to join in as they performed songs, riddles, and games with a group of kids. Tom and Mark's recurring alter ego characters, the Camp Caribou Keeners, would appear in slapstick skits.
What was the first one again?
The Smiling Carousel.
Okay. I've locked in my answer.
I think it's the first one.
Is the real one.
Is the real one. Based solely on the fact that Keeners is a negative, and I don't think that they would use that to label a group, unless that's where it comes from. I'm going to go with the first one.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Smiling Carousel as well, because all the names in that one were over the top and extremely goofy, and the other one was like Tom and Mark and Brian. Like,
Fair enough. Colin?
I'm actually gonna say the second one because of the same reasons.
Oh, because that one had more normal names.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, every hockey team has at least one of those three names on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe, Map?
I was doing a thing.
Oh, sorry. It's fine.
I'll pass on this one.
All
I'll
right.
catch up to the next.
I'm going with Camp Caribou. That
All
sounds
right.
very Canadian to me.
So the answer for the real one is Camp Caribou.
Yeah.
The children's entertainer couple with what did you describe the names?
Well, it was Tom and Mark.
Yeah. Anyway, Maggie and Stuart are my parents. I hope they're watching.
Oh no!
No, it's fine.
I feel like Camp Caribou was peak children's entertainment after I moved to Canada.
Is that Red Green singing this?
No.
No.
Okay.
The Camp Caribou boogie. Boogie.
Those are the Keeners. With Tom and Mark.
Tom and
Who
Mark.
are Tom and Mark? Who? These guys.
Definitely camp counselor names.
That was a
Yeah, the
pretty
upside down
serviceable moonwalk.
faces. That's what I remember from the show the most.
This show ruled.
Yeah. All right.
Are you sure?
Next. Today's special. Set in an unnamed department store after hours, the show focuses on Jeff, a store mannequin who comes to life unless someone removes his magical hat. Jeff learns about the world by talking to night staff at the store. Jody, the display manager, Sam, the puppet security guard, and another puppet, Muffy Mouse, among others. Or, Service Please, set at Pickering's, a 24-hour diner, but on the show always during the slow night shift. Waitress Kathy tries to hold down the fort as seemingly the only staff member other than Bill the janitor, themselves the only two humans on the regular cast. Scraps, the short order cook, only communicates through the kitchen pass-through window. Robert and Roberta, two regulars in their booth, operate in sort of a Statler and Waldorf type role, while a rotating group of colorful characters come through the diner every night.
So I'm going with the first one because I think I've seen it.
That's entirely possible.
Or is it?
Any of these could be. Either could be real.
Truly, they are both very well written. There's no giveaways, and I think I've seen the first one. That's the only, because I know I got the Red Green show when I was a kid. I watched that all the time, and like Blackadder, and I think I got a Canadian. In upstate New York, I think I got a Canadian station. And
I hope so, because we got a lot of Seattle stations. So
Yeah.
I hope something bled south.
So that's what I think. I think it's the first one because I think in my just ADHD-riddled brain, I think I've seen it.
All right.
I'm also going to say the first one. No reason.
All right. You don't have to have a reason. It's 50-50. You can guess.
Well, I definitely have not seen it.
Fair
so.
enough.
I'm gonna go with option 2.
Okay.
Because option 1 sounds more like it's just Frosty the Snowman in the mall.
Frosty and the Mall Man.
Fair. Any guesses from engineering?
I'm going for the first one because that sounds uniquely weird, and yeah, that's probably it.
I'm with Map on this one.
All right. The correct answer is today's special. The one that sounds like Frosty the Snowman.
Was the second one just Cheers with the names changed?
I didn't think that much about it. Though some of these ideas I'm
Yes,
like,
I have seen this.
Yep.
Ha ha!
I love this.
Yeah, this would
Well, I guess that's all locked up tight now, as it should be.
the magic words to bring Jeff the mannequin to life are Hocus Pocus Alamagocus.
Yep.
Well, everything's all safe down here. Let's go upstairs.
So every night they take Jeff up to the children's department.
Anyway, the children's department once again.
I narrate everywhere I go.
Yeah. Well, this is the opening title sequence, so this plays every single time. So they're like, we just got to get the premise across.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty high concept, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
You locked the door and then peeked around the corner and then said, all of the children have gone home.
Yeah.
If they hadn't, you just locked them in with a freaking living mannequin and a talking mouse.
Yep. So if you aren't able to guess from that entrance, Jeff Hislop, the performer who plays Jeff, is a dancer. And when I was a kid, I saw him on a touring performance or a touring show of Aladdin in town.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I like he's got a magic tam.
Yeah.
That's like the most. It's very Canadian.
Oh, and that's Mother Goose pulling the.
Oh, of course.
The royalty-free animated section.
Yeah. I don't know what pride flag that was Mother Goose was pulling.
Kind of looks like the pan flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's special is adventure.
Oh.
Lovely. All right.
Before we move on to the next one, I want to say we have 4 minutes left. We have 3 minutes and 20 minutes left in our giveaway. If you want Jacob's time and as a special sweetened bonus this year, Mikey's time, you have to donate $9.99 like cute green bard just did, or multiples thereof. We are so close to 8,950,000 lifetime. I think we can do it.
All right. Next up.
Yes.
On Friday Bay. Set in a fishing shack near Tizard's Harbor on the east coast of Newfoundland, the cast features Eddie and Emma Andrews, who operate a small fishing boat, their daughter Ellie, who was portrayed by a puppet, as well as Stanley the Seagull, who was also a puppet. Frequent bad weather led to all manner of colorful characters washing ashore, the possible characters seemingly irrespective of geography and time period. Or... got that classic Grimm speech impediment. Or... one called Puttnam's Prairie Emporium. Set in a five-and-dime general store in Regina, Saskatchewan, the cast featured the family of Mr. Puttnam, the store owner, and puppet characters Caldecott C. Cat, a saxophone-playing cat, and Benjamin, a mounted beefalo head on the wall of the store. Through various methods, the characters would travel to other dimensions or even other periods of time via the store's time closet.
Oh, both these sound so made up.
The second one, because I think I remember seeing something with a beefalo.
The first one, because I don't like the word beefalo.
That's legit.
Engineering?
I think the second one, because as a kid's show, it probably makes more sense to kids that they go through a door to time travel rather than people washing up on their shore from different time periods. I feel like that would be a more difficult way to introduce that concept.
I'm going with the second one as well, because if I've learned anything so far, that's a lot of puppets there, and yeah.
I realized while writing all of these that it's very common for characters that are child humans to be portrayed by puppets, and I assume that's so the kids don't age out of the role.
Yeah.
And you're just not working with kids, and you don't have to worry about long shooting days and stuff. That you just get a puppet to do it instead.
You can crank that content out, and no one's going to get the labor police on you.
Yeah. So in a rare show of the CBC allowing a television series to be created by someone outside of Toronto, and from one of its Prairie affiliates, Puttnam's Prairie Emporium was indeed. I'm amazed if you've seen it, because it ran for only like 2 seasons, but got a lot of love in the syndication.
I think because I've seen the beefalo, I'll know when I see it.
I've been wrong before.
Not a chance.
This is not the one?
No.
Wait till you see Benjamin. There he is.
Nope.
There's a place we all can go. It's always been there, I know.
What I love is that they have this guy.
And I'm here.
It looks like they got the local TV station folks, like the local news crew, to also do this.
Did this one have a character named Ivan?
Yep. He was the crazy inventor that made the time closet.
I named a beetle after him when I was a child.
There you go.
Look at those sweet dance moves.
What's with all the marks on these shows?
It's Canada. A lot of marks up here.
Graham, a time closet is an L or R bit, actually.
We have a door.
He's too cool to do anything.
He's too cool to dance along with the opening titles.
That is pretty clever, actually.
He's just criminally undercoordinated. In her defense, the girl also doesn't look super enthusiastic.
I think On Friday Bay is the made-up one I'm most proud of. just because Tizard's Harbor sounds like a great place to set a kids show.
You should be.
I'm
These,
going
like, you
down to
really should have a
Tizard's.
lot of pride in these descriptions.
Thank you. I had to, that's why I had to stop.
I mean,
at
we
6.
should take these and pitch them to
Right.
CBC.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. This one's moving a little later, so I'm worried that you might just know this one, but we'll see. Gord's Fixit Stop. Set in Gord's, an auto mechanics shop somewhere in rural Saskatchewan, the only human on the cast is the titular Gord, an affable man who's generally the only one who speaks to the viewer. The puppet cast members include Dot, a prairie dog who runs the front office, Simon, another mechanic who is always in the mechanic pit working on whatever car has been brought in by that episode's visiting character, and Pete, who is Gord's nephew, who hangs around the shop learning from his uncle. Every episode features a segment with Gord and Pete watching an on-location film of some kind of mechanical production, like factory or assembly line work. Or, Under the Umbrella Tree. 4 roommates share a house in Toronto, and again, only one of them is human. That human, Holly, is joined by Iggy the Iguana, Jacob the Blue Jay, and Gloria the Gopher, who lives in a burrow behind the couch under the apartment's eponymous umbrella tree. Each 15-minute-long episode deals with some kind of life lesson like keeping promises or not lying, and the show featured an extensive supporting cast of puppet characters, including a family of chickadees, a dog, a bat, and their friend Lois, who works at the bird migration office.
The second one, because I think I've seen it, and it has my name in it. So, and I also map more puppets is where I'm going.
And I heard Dog, Bat, and Lewis, and I was like, a perfect show. That's all you need. So, 2.
Any votes from engineering?
I'm going for the second one as well, because Toronto Blue Jays are a thing, I guess, and that sounds like...
Yes. Conversely, the iguana, not
Not
really
so
a
much.
Canadian animal, but fair logic, Joe.
I'm also going to go for the second one. I think that the format is more flexible for a kids show rather than something that is needs a shot of factory worker or machinery in every episode.
Hey, Picture was on every episode of Mr. Rogers. Well, almost every episode. But fair point. Picture being the inspiration for that section of Gord's Fixit Stop, which I like the concept of. I think putting a puppet in the mechanic pit is a good idea. Yeah. Anyway, you are correct. It is indeed Under the Umbrella Tree.
About a polyamorous foursome, you said?
Apparently.
Yes, I have seen this.
You know what's funny? Apparently, Jacob the Blue Jay, who lives in a birdhouse on the deck, was the original... In canon, was the original occupant of this apartment. And everyone moved in.
And Star Fox.
Do you think when,
barrel roll!
do you think when Holly's parents visited, they were like, "So are you still living with the?"
The gopher, the iguana, and the blue jay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I think these might actually be the highest quality puppets in Canadian children's programming.
So, I'm glad you mentioned that. That show was created by Noreen Young, who's received the Order of Canada. She also operates Gloria the gopher in that, and co-developed the puppets. She also made a bunch of the puppets for today's special, and was Dodie the bush pilot on Sesame Street, Canada. So she literally got the Order of Canada for like for excelling in children's entertainment through puppetry, which I think is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good puppets.
All right, final round. These ones are quick because there's 3 and 2 of them are real.
Okay.
Raffi's Rise and Shine. Beloved children's folk musician Raffi entertains children with skits and songs featuring various recurring characters like Betty Beluga. Fred Penner's Place. Beloved children's folk musician Fred Penner entertains children with skits and songs featuring various recurring characters like Wordbird. Sharon, Lois, and Bram's Elephant Show. Beloved children's folk musicians Sharon, Lois, and Bram entertain children with skits and songs featuring various recurring characters like the elephant.
The last one is the fake one. That's what I think.
I think you're actually just pulling words out of the air at this point. Number 2, I think.
Is the odd one out?
This is the fake one.
Whichever one is correct.
Yeah, 2 of these are real.
Okay.
Joe, Map, any guesses?
I'm going to say that the first one is the fake one because I think a beluga is the wrong scale for this. Like, you can have a elephant puppet, but a beluga is quite large.
All right.
Yeah, but beluga caviar is quite small.
Elephant to beluga. All right, sure. Matt?
I'm going with Raffi as well because I think he isn't a Canadian thing. So I think he's US, but I don't know. Just a gut feeling.
All right. Raffi is famously very Canadian.
He's super left-wing and lives on a Gulf island.
Yeah. And
Raffi rules.
And I think that Joe might be underestimating the national popularity of his song "Baby Beluga." That said, Raffi never had a kids show.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Raffi never had a kids show. Yeah.
Didn't need one.
Yeah. That said, so Fred Penner. This is the intro to Fred Penner's Place. Where's the... There we go. This is, well, the CBC Toronto bumper.
It just sounds like Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, yeah. The Hodgepodge Lodge was CBC's, like, kids block.
That's fun.
Yeah. Right, Cam?
Cameron's like, I'm 4 again.
Yeah. I think I always really liked Fred Penner's Place because he looked like my dad.
Oh God, I'm just remembering the daycare I went to.
Yeah.
So what I think is interesting...
I've just been hit with a tricycle.
There's a huge variety of people, like, ages in this room, but all of us, like, can remember this because once you made a show in Canada, it would go in syndication forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, stopped airing Camp Caribou. I looked it up in 1997.
Yep. Wow. This was so cool, too, because he had a secret tunnel through to his place. That was awesome as a kid. It's like, he goes in the forest and he goes through the tunnel, and then he's on a set.
And then he gets stuck in the entrance
That's so
for 2
cool.
weeks.
It's good to see you.
This particular clip continues for some time, but...
Are you feeling
I definitely remember that show now.
Yeah. I love the mouth harp going, Fred Penner's Place, in the opening themes.
I watched a lot of Fred Penner's Place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, just for completion, the intro, one of the many variations of the intro to...
The Elephant Show.
The Elephant Show.
Yeah.
I also sent through.
Classic.
Maps just pulling that out.
I have also seen this.
Yeah, I have too, oddly.
Oh, you can bring chat back, Erica.
The one that I'd actually seen was the one that I thought wasn't real.
Bram. And then an elephant for some reason. I love that they had an existing tour, right? Like they were existing entertainers, and I don't know which producer decided. I don't know which producer was like, okay, but we need a gimmick for the TV show. An elephant.
The editing in
And
this
Chuck
intro
Mangione.
is unhinged.
Yes.
Awesome.
You just gave
Thank
me
you.
a brainwave, Graham.
Oh?
I remember the visuals of that only this minute,
Uh-huh.
but I watched so many of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for putting that together. bud.
You're very welcome. I had a
that was
blast
awesome.
doing it.
There were some in there I had legitimately never heard of either of them.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so there was a few that, but then there were other ones where you're like, describe a thing, I'm like, I don't know if that is, maybe that's one I just haven't seen, and then you're like, under the umbrella tree, I'm like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Could we have chat
Yeah,
back?
you can bring chat back now, sorry.
I'm good to go for the rest, unless you want to.
No, I find it. Just making sure you're good.
The,
Appreciate it.
I ran out of steam, so I couldn't think of a show to mirror or to stand beside in a category with the polka dot door,
Oh, right.
which
yes.
started in the early 70s on Ontario television, featuring beloved recurring menace, the Pokeroo.
Pokeroo was my username for everything for my entire adolescence.
Awesome.
It was you.
I feel like I didn't spend enough time on Chuck Mangione.